What if I told you that the God Valley incident, the single most mysterious event in One Piece history, wasn't just about Garp and Roger defeating rocks? What if I told you it was about betrayal, bloodlines, and the D-Clan's survival, and that Shanks himself may have been at the very center of it all? Let's rewind. 38 years ago, the so-called native hunting competition was staged on God Valley. To the world, it looked like a simple game of cruelty, where celestial dragons hunted slaves and civilians for sport. But in reality, this was a cover-up for something far darker. Figarland Garling, leader of the God's Knights, discovered the hidden Davy Family living on God Valley, one of the last remnants of the ancient kingdom's bloodline. Instead of protecting them, he proposed the island as the next stage for the celestial dragon's hunt. Why? Because it would erase their existence once and for all. And yet, destiny had other plans. Xebec sailed to God Valley not just for treasure, but for family. Oda has hinted that Rox may have been part of the Davy family himself, and that his true motive was to rescue his wife and child. At the same time, Goldie Roger and his crew moved in, not for riches, but to save Shaki. And who was caught in the middle of all this chaos? Monkey D. Dragon, then still a Marine, who saw the truth of the celestial dragon's cruelty with his own eyes. During the chaos, betrayals erupted everywhere. Pirates turned on pirates for glory. Marines slaughtered innocents under the guise of training exercises, and among the slaves presented to the celestial dragons were none other than Bartholomew Kuma and members of the Davy family, including a young Marshal D. Teach. Think about that for a moment. The Buccaneer bloodline and the Davy family, paraded like prey in front of the world's so-called gods. This is where things get even darker. The God's Knights were not just participants, they were orchestrators. Garling stabbed Shanks' mother and left her for dead, leading Dragon to discover her and save her children. But only one child, Shamrock, was reclaimed by the world government. The other, Shanks, was sealed inside a treasure chest and stolen away by Roger's crew, who raised him as their own. That's right. Shanks' connection to both the Davy family and the celestial dragons begins right here. Meanwhile, Kuma ate the pawpaw fruit during the chaos, Ivankov stole another devil fruit, and Saturn himself attempted to silence them. Rox was betrayed, his crew fell apart, and God Valley, the island itself, was erased from history. The world remembers Garp as a hero. Roger's role was buried, Rox was labeled a monster. But the truth is that the world government orchestrated a massacre, erased a bloodline, and used the chaos to rewrite history. And from that day forward, 3 legacies were born. Dragon abandoned the Marines and began his journey toward revolution. Shanks grew under Roger's wing, his true heritage hidden even from himself. And Teach, spared but scarred, carried the darkness of the Davy family into the future. So, here's the real question. Was the God Valley incident the beginning of the end for the D-Clan? Or was it the spark that would one day reunite them, through Dragon, Luffy, Shanks, and even Blackbeard? The world calls it an incident, but make no mistake, it was a betrayal. And the echoes of God Valley are still shaping the final war of One Piece today.